Guys, I got good news! I'm a gold member. So, I got some more tarantula molts. Yeah, I have this one right here, and this is my, I would say an inch from P.cancerides now, Haitian brown bird eater. So I got this as a half-inch spiraling, so all my brand new tarantulas that I got a couple of weeks ago actually all molted. Sweet. And now I got another one molting. I just love it when they molt because you can actually see how awesome they are. So right here, T.gigas. This is my orange tree spider. I caught it webbing quite a while ago. Now it's actually starting to molt, and you can see suspended in air. Anywho, I got a request from 318MX wants me to do a simple Caresheet video of the Poecilotheria species, which are the pokies. So, I'm going to give you some background info on the ornamentals. Okay, so let me bring my lovely chair, sit and lecture you guys about pokies. So, what are the pokies? So, we call them pokies because of their scientific, how we pronounce their scientific name, Poecilotheria. So, these are the species that come from India and Sri-lankan. They're the famous ornamentals, you know, like the Indian ornamental, the Sri-lankan ornamental, the fringe ornamental, and the lovely Goody sapphire, and the really, really, really rare yellow-black ornamental, Poecilotheria smithi. Okay, a lot of people get pokies possibly as their first or second tarantula, and really don't advise you doing this because, for one thing, a lot of people don't buy on impulse. Say like, oh, it looks cool, so rather buy it, but they never do the proper research. Okay, so if you're really serious and into owning a pokey, I recommend you owning some tarantulas before you actually own one, because pokies are very unpredictable tarantulas. They can be aggressive. They're more shy than defensive. Either they can be very defensive if you corner one. So if you really considering a pokey your collection, I would start off with the Vicularia, the pink toes. You know, to practice your experience with arboreals, because they're much more different than terrestrials. They require different setups, different requirements, and the usual rosea, the smithi, and albalpolicum, and so forth. So I recommend you getting pink toes first. It could be the versicolor, or it could just be normal avic. This will teach you how fast arboreals can be, and their general habitats. And then once you get up to own the courage, you can own some of the Poecilotheria genus, you know, like the Cambridgei, the Pulcher, the Reduncus, and the Erminia. So they act a lot like pokies. They're fast, they can be aggressive, but they don't pack the potent venom that pokies do. So a lot of people handle pokies. I don't endorse you handling them because these guys are quite dangerous. Let's see, just their speed alone is really mind-boggling. They are lightning fast. And if you saw my Ornata video and my Poecilotheria regalis speed video, you can right away tell how fast they are. Okay, so, and that's my spiel on pokies. So, pokies are generally very large tarantulas. They're one of the large arboreals. They grow up to having, I would say, between 6 and 7 inch leg span. It depends what species you go for. Let's say the smallest one is like the Fusca. I think they grow up to 5 or 6 inches. I think at max. And the largest one is the Poecilotheria rufulata, which is the red slate, and the Ornata, which is the fringed. They actually get up to about having a 9 to 10 inch leg span. So, pretty much as I said in my arboreal teeth care video, you can keep them pretty much like a Poecilotheria genus. They like pretty much humid habitats. They prefer at least 80% humidity. Heat is generally the same. Keep it slightly above room temperature. 80 to 82 degrees is pretty sufficient. And yeah, so talking about the cages, since these guys are arboreal, they require more taller enclosures than wider ones. So I'll give you an example of a sling that you can house. So I'll get my sling here. Okay, so here is Poecilotheria petersoni, which is the ghost ornamental. So this is a 1.5 inch specimen. So you can keep them in pill jars, so they're okay until they reach about half their leg span. So next molt, this guy's going to be moving into a bigger enclosure. You can also buy those steak spice jars that you can get. This is a perfect cage for an arboreal tea. So this houses my 1 inch, you can't see it, Poecilotheria fasciata. And it's right there. It blends in with the substrate. Okay, so juvie pokies, let's say 3 inches or bigger. Or sorry, if you want also, you can house it in those candy jars that you get from the grocery store. Makes a nice tea enclosure. This is my Poecilotheria Miranda. This is my Bengal spotted ornamental. A lot of pokey slings tend to burrow, so my Miranda and my Safusca are the ones that love to burrow. And pretty cool. So generally adult pokies, as they age, they lose their tendency to burrow. So what I do is put about 2 inches of straight vermiculite in. So vermiculite is very good in keeping the moisture up, so that's why I recommend using straight vermiculite for pokies, because they're really moist and keep them humid, and they love to be humid. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so a juvie pokey, such as my Metallica. Where is it? Oh yes, okay. Yeah, it's behind the cave. Okay, you can keep it like... This is a good setup for a typical juvenile pokey. So this houses my P. Metallica, the Goody Sapphire Ornamental. So I generally get a critter keeper. And I put a lot of decorations in there, and you can see there's this firewood right here that the tarantula likes to hide under. So they love to be... all pokies love climbing space, so you generally want to put a lot of climbing space in your cages. So this is your typical pokey setup, or any arboreal setup that would be sufficient. So for larger ones, especially when they grow, I'll show you my 5-inch female Poecilotheria regalis. This is my Indian ornamental. As you've seen so many times, God, the computer's hot. Okay, it's very important for juvenile pokies to have a water dish, because a lot of tarantulas love to drink, and they need to, especially when they're going to be molting. Because I told you in my other videos, humidity is very, very important if you want your tarantula to molt successfully. So, here is a typical arboreal setup for my Poecilotheria regalis. This is a 5-inch female. She's behind there. I can actually see a little leg right there. I'm not going to take her out because these guys are really, really dangerous. Okay, so what you do is take a 10-gallon tank, flip it on its side, take a plexiglass and and drill it and glue it so that it stays on intact. Then you add your substrate. I recommend vermiculite. Add a couple of logs, like here are logs here, and then you have it, and you add a cave in here so that the spider feels secure. So when you do cage maintenance, it'll actually hide in the burrow rather than trying to bite you. And add fake leaves. It's actually pretty cool. Makes it more natural. And add a water dish. So to recap, humidity around 80%, temperature, keep it at least 79 to 82. That's pretty sufficient. That's what I keep my teas at. So temperament wise, I would not suggest you handling any pokies because for one, they're very, very dangerous because of their potent venom, and they're very unpredictable, and if they bite hard, and they have very bad effects. You know, like you have severe muscle and leg cramps, your nausea, and you just feel like crap. So I really don't recommend you trying to handle them. Feeding, pretty much you can feed them crickets. Adults take readily adult crickets, or you can feed them roaches. No mice, because as I explained in my tea diet video on my Sozak 565 account, really dangerous to feed your teas any mice because of the calcium, and acts like a poison to it, and it's not going to be good if you have molting problems. Pretty much that's it. So hopefully when my T.gigas is going to be done molting, I'm going to take a sweet video of it and hopefully take some great pictures and post it on my YouTube page and also post it on my Facebook page. So peace, guys.